Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Coach Kathy Richardson and I've lost 150 pounds. And on that journey, I lost a third of my hair. Yikes. This isn't mine though. We're just gonna right over there. So let's talk hair loss though. This is something that can happen with weight loss. This can happen due to weight loss from bariatric surgery, which is what happened for me, or it can happen if you're doing the keto diet or low carb diet, or if you've just white knuckled it on your own and managed to lose a significant amount of weight. It can happen as a metabolic stressor too. So when this happens, a lot of people think it's because of nutritional deficiencies or because they didn't take their vitamins, or there's a multitude of reasons why people think this happens. But why this actually happens is something called telogen effluvium. So as I said before, I've lost 150 pounds. I'm a weight loss coach here in Canada. And you'll see some degrees back here: weight loss coach, Bachelor of Science in Education with concentration in science. So I learned a few things in those courses, but nothing teaches you like the School of Hard Knocks. And before this happened, but after this happened, I also was a hairstylist for over 15 years. So I am still currently a licensed hairdresser and esthetician. So let's have a little hair lesson for a minute. Hair growth happens in 3 phases. We have anagen, catagen, and telogen. And those are just fancy Greek names for the growth phase, the resting phase, and the fallout phase. And hair loss specifically with weight loss is something called telogen effluvium. So that is when the hair follicle gets stuck in the telogen phase, which is the fallout phase, and it doesn't turn over to the anagen phase or the growth phase for a period of time. The body does this when it's under stress. This is actually a trauma response. And this can happen with bariatric surgery, regular weight loss, or it can happen to a bunch of other stressful situations. We've seen this in practice with medication, not chemotherapy specifically, but cancer. Chemotherapy, hair loss, fallout is an entirely different beast, and we're not going to go there today. But this can happen even due to the loss of a loved one, a very instant traumatic event like a car accident, or even during the COVID-19 pandemic. We found out that lots of people had hair loss due to COVID. So let's rewind a little bit to 2021 in November. That's when I had my vertical gastric sleeve surgery. And with gastric surgeries, hair loss typically starts to really ramp up around 4 months out from surgery. And that's exactly when mine started to fall out. And that's exactly when I also got COVID for the first time. We're on round 3 now. Just finished it actually. But anyways, so I had the perfect storm to lose hair, and boy, did I. I'm going to share some pictures of my own hair loss and my own scalp at the end of this video. So stay tuned if you want to see what it really looked like in real life for me. I had hair much longer than I have right now, and I can remember rinsing the conditioner out of my hair, and the hair was going through my fingers, and then it just stayed, and I had handfuls come out. And it was terrifying. I knew it was going to happen. I'd done my homework prior to the surgery. I didn't know it could happen with COVID at the time. I don't even know if anybody knew it could happen with COVID at the time. But once it started happening, I'm like, okay, game on. Let's try everything under the sun. And so I don't want you to make the mistake or spend the money that I did trying to stop this or fix this, because we do now know there is no stopping telogen effluvium. So right off the bat, don't blame yourself. This is normal, it's expected, and you can't stop it. And the worst part is it's going to happen for some people and it's never going to happen for others. And we don't even know why. Sometimes it happens in patients or weight loss people who only lose a little bit of weight and they lose a ton of hair and they get stuck in telogen effluvium for a really long time. And then sometimes people lose a ton of weight either on their own or through surgery and they never lose their hair. We really don't know why. So first of all, again, you didn't do anything wrong. This isn't because you were taking the wrong vitamin. This isn't because you had sleeve versus bypass, or this isn't because you did Weight Watchers instead of the keto diet. Just, there's nothing you could have done to have prevented this. And unfortunately, there is nothing you can do to expedite this process. The body is going to stay intelligent effluvium for as long as it wants to, but the good news is it doesn't stay there. So I want to talk today about ways that you can encourage new regrowth, ways that you can prevent future hair loss down the road that's not telogen effluvium, and ways that you can hide it in the meantime. So if you're a male and you're watching this channel, some of this might not apply to you, but I do find too that for women, hair is a huge part of our identity. And I was a hairstylist. This was really like, ugh, the pressure was on and everybody's going to notice. And I had to get really creative, and I really had to do some research and do some trial and error, find some things that worked, find some things that didn't. So, and the worst part is too, is that this happens right where we used to call it male pattern baldness, but we find that happens, this horseshoe loss of hair happens both in men and women. And let me just say, let me get on my feminist soapbox for a minute. We do not talk as a society or as a medical community enough about female hair loss because it happens a lot. It happens more than people realize. And that's why we don't even call it male pattern baldness anymore. It's just pattern baldness. And it's going to focus really at the temples and in through the crown and the top of the hair, basically right where everybody sees. So that makes it a little more difficult to disguise when it's happening. But let's just normalize hair loss, shall we? Let's just say starting today, we're going to normalize hair loss, especially in women. So, things we can do to encourage regrowth. Let's start there first because that's what everybody really wants to hear. And I will teach you and show you different ways that you can hide it in the meantime. But let's just talk about biotin for a minute. That's the number one thing. Everybody's like, oh, take your biotin, take your biotin. Well, I didn't realize until I was having a lot of my post-op bariatric blood work that biotin can actually interfere with your lab work. And there is a little bit of research that suggests that it can help with regrowth. So I'm not coming on today to say not to take your biotin or that it doesn't work. Although I do have some degrees, I'm not a doctor and I don't even play one on TV. But what I do know is that it can affect a few different markers on your blood work. So at the very least, if you are going to take it, talk to your bariatric team or talk to your doctor and just make them aware that you are supplementing with biotin. One thing as an esthetician and as a hairstylist that I can 100% say does affect the growth of hair, skin, and nails because they're all comprised of keratin protein specifically, and that is collagen. And you're going to see a lot of people stirring collagen into their coffee and buying powdered collagen. It's just not that bioavailable. You want to go for the liquid stuff, guys. And what does make it more bioavailable is vitamin C. The brand I like to use, and I do use myself, is called Organica. And so this is a liquid bovine collagen, and it's also paired with vitamin C, which also makes it more bioavailable. Tastes like a melted orange popsicle, 2 teaspoons a day. You don't need to overdo it on this. It's expensive. If you take more than that, you're just going to be peeing it out and you're not going to see the benefits. So I actually just unscrew this and I take 2 capfuls and I just shoot it and then I'm done for the day. And like I said, it tastes good. It tastes like an orange popsicle, and that's probably from the vitamin C. So that absolutely, it's going to help with your skin elasticity too. When we go and we're losing rapid weight, and like I've lost 150 pounds, that rapidly shows in your skin. It's going to show on your face. You're going to be losing some of the buccal fat underneath your cheeks and under your eyes. It's another video for another day, but just know taking that collagen is a very good thing. Now, as a professional stylist, I can say too, there are some topical treatments and some topical things that we can do to the scalp that's also going to help. Number one is going to be massage for the blood flow and stimulating the scalp either with your fingers or I forgot the little doohickey. I'll maybe share it in a link below, but it looks like a wand with fingers and you just kind of rub it around your scalp. That all encourages blood flow, and that's a very, very good thing. That's going to bring lots of blood to the cells that the hair follicles are attached to. This is all below the scalp where this kind of mechanism happens. And another thing you can do to help out with that is to apply rosemary oil or even make your own rosemary elixir. You can buy fresh rosemary right at the store, put it in a pot, add some water, put it on a low simmer for a couple of hours, take out the rosemary and put it into a spray bottle and spray every night. or there's lots of essential oils for sale. You can make your own topical elixir and just Google how to do that. But rosemary on the scalp with stimulation are very, very good things. And they've actually helped me significantly with my hair loss and regrowth. Now, anything that we put on the skin, whether it's our scalp or our face, it absorbs in 26 seconds. So yes, topical scalp things do work, but anything you actually put on your hair does not work. So don't be buying any snake oil, guys. Hair is dead. That's why when we cut it, it doesn't hurt. Yes, it's porous. Yes, it will absorb things, but hair fallout happens below the scalp at the root. And so that's why, different creams and things like that, it's just malarkey. It's not true. But there are some professional shampoos and different brands that do get absorbed into the scalp. And that's why you have to leave them on for a minimum 5 minutes. And usually you can't even use them daily. They do help some. So none of this is going to be the miracle cure. You're not going to have this big Rapunzel or Goldilocks mane after 4 weeks of using a new shampoo, but it all helps. And if it even helps 10%, I'll tell you, I would have taken that 10%. And I did when I could see my scalp right through, everybody saw it. It was very noticeable for a while. And again, I'll show you the pictures later. And also, if you like content like this, hit like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow. It helps put it out into YouTube's algorithm. And there's other post-ops who need to know this too. But anyways, this shampoo is a new one. So a lot of people know the brand Nioxin. Nioxin is great. It's very trusted, and it has a lot of data and research to back it. But this guy, which is called Active Hair Sciences, this just came onto the market about 2 years ago, and I've been using it, and it absolutely has helped me have some regrowth. Bosley is another great brand that has a lot of hair regrowth shampoo conditioners, and a lot of these will come with 3-step or 4-step processes too. You're going to have a shampoo, a conditioner, maybe a weekly treatment, and then just like the rosemary or different things, they'll have a hair serum that you can do. Vegamore is, you don't have to be a professional to buy Vegamore. That is one that you can just go to Vegamore's website. They also offer hair serums, and different vloggers and people I follow have had really noticeable hair regrowth. So let's go to something you can get at the drugstore. A lot of you on these bariatric sites swear by this stuff so much that I even went out and bought it. Do I love it? Not really. Have I noticed any regrowth? Absolutely not. But I haven't been using it that long. But I'll tell you what I do notice about it is it does make my hair feel a little dry. So I don't love how my hair feels after using these, but I can't actually say that they don't work. If you use these and they work, comment down below and let everybody else know. One of my bariatric BFFs uses this, and she didn't lose hardly any hair, but again, she didn't experience telogen effluvium a lot. But she really thought this helped her regrowth a lot, and she said she noticed it quickly. So I'm in the process of using this. Can I say that it doesn't work? No. But can I tell you it does work? Also no. So maybe stay tuned. So other things that you can do medically, and this would require a prescription, is eventually, if you're having more hair loss down the road, or if your telogen effluvium just isn't stopping, you can ask about a drug called spironolactone. And that comes with a ton of side effects. And the second you stop using it, you're going to lose all the hair that you got during it, or the hair that didn't fall out during it. So it just pauses that hair loss. But if you stop taking it, it's all going to happen all at once. And that can be kind of traumatic. So is it possible? Is there a medication? Yes. Do you want to take it? I don't know. I chose not to. And another thing that you can also take is Rogaine. Rogaine absolutely works, but again, it only works as long as you're taking it. And the new growth that you got because of taking that Rogaine is all going to fall out within a short period of time the second you stop taking it. So I'm not going to tell you not to. If that's up to you. If you want to have that commitment and that financial commitment, because it's not cheap. Walmart does make an Equate brand, and it's the same thing. You're just not paying for the name brand. But if you stop taking it, you're going to have some fallout. So just know that. So that's all the regrowth. And moving forward too, you do want to make sure that you're getting very adequate protein and that you do take your vitamins, because although telogen effluvium is not due to anything you've done, you do want to encourage new growth and regrowth. And that's really where you want to be putting your money and your time and your focus is just getting the new hair to come back in. And that's absolutely going to happen because, again, keratin is a protein. When you eat protein, that's how you get your hair, skin, and nails to be their best. So in the meantime, Kathy, what do? You can see my scalp. I understand. And especially if you're a dark haired gal like me and you have a light scalp or you're fair skinned. I mean, I had the black hair, white scalp syndrome. So there's different ways that we can disguise that depending on the level of loss you've had. If you can just see it a little bit and you just feel like you can see some of that scalp, especially if you're pulling your hair up on the sides and you kind of can see through it on the sides, this is right at Walmart and this works great. It will stain your clothes and you may even want to like put one hand over your forehead while you're spraying it on because you'll have little dots and look like you have freckles for the rest of the day otherwise. But it's by Clairol. It's just called Root Touch Up. It's a color refresh spray. Also, the brand Batiste makes a brunette dry shampoo, and that will really help hide a little bit of white shiny scalp in there. So if you just have minimal thinning and you're not really trying to cover up like big round bald spots on your head, that's a great option. But if you do have the big round bald spots or even small, but just if you're having a lot of visible scalp, hair fibers are going to be your new BFF. I am so addicted to these, I still put them in sometimes. So these are both a professional brand. One is by Bosley and one is by Eclipse, but there are some, I believe it's called Toppix, Toppix. You can get them on Walmart, you can get them at Walmart or you can get them on Amazon. And so these come based on the color of your hair. I actually dyed my hair lighter blonde for a little while when the fallout was really bad, just to help with that black hair, white scalp phenomenon. And so this is my light brown. I couldn't wear this now. This would be too light for me. So I am a medium brown. And so that's what this guy is. This is the Bosley brand. So how these work is you just blow your hair dry as normal. And then wherever you have thinness, it's probably going to be up here somewhere. It was for me. You just sprinkle it on and then you affix with hairspray. You don't need to buy their expensive hairspray that claims that it bonds to it better. It doesn't. And this will last until your next shampoo. So these are a lifesaver. And these are really what got me by. And if I did pull my hair back to the side, I would even lean to the side and I would shake, 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 shake. And then I would spray and then you wouldn't see it. And these are a lifesaver. I cannot recommend these enough, or the Toppix. To me, they're all just as good. There's not one brand that's any better than the other. So now moving forward too, I found not shampooing my hair quite as often helps because I just found the fallout in the shower. That's where you're going to see this the most. It was just traumatic. And so I would go a couple of days in between shampoos and I would use that dry shampoo. Some other tips are just don't be too rough when you are brushing your hair, especially when it's wet, because not only is the hair going to fall out, but the hair itself can become more fragile and you can have breakage. So for that reason alone too, when you're right in the throes of telogen effluvium, as a stylist, I do not and would not put in hair extensions in any way. I don't care if it's tape in, sew in, whatever. You're just going to encourage that pulling out at the root and some snapping of the hair along the shaft. You just want to be gentle with your hair at this point. Can you color it? Absolutely. You know, I'm 45 years old. I was 42, 43 when I got sleeved. I had gray hair and I was not going to walk around with bald gray hair. So I definitely colored my hair and I even did highlights, but you just want to be cognizant that you want to do this slowly and not encourage breakage because of chemical damage. And if you're using your flat iron or your hot tools, you want to always use a thermal protectant, not even just because your hair is falling out, but because you don't want to have crusty fried hair. So one thing I would do, and I did it every day, especially if I was on like day 2 or day 3, I would part my hair in the middle and I would smooth it down and I would get a low ponytail in the back. And by pulling it down and away from my face, I didn't need to pull it up and back, which was just going to, it was going to reveal the sides being thinner. So you could part on the side if you don't love a center cut, but whatever's flattering to you, and just kind of smooth it down into a ponytail. And I got this guy off Amazon and I would just put this in over my ponytail and I wore like a low chignon. I got so many compliments on this that I actually still, not this one because this one doesn't match anymore, but I have a couple of those and I still pull that out sometimes. My hair is still recovering from this, guys. I'm only 2 years post-op right now. And I kind of had like a second fallout a little while after. And that's normal. Like this can happen a couple of times on the journey, but it's coming back in and it's getting so much better than it was. But sometimes I just like to still have a pretty updo and I don't have the volume or the length to do that with yet. So sometimes I throw this in still, not this one, but one of them. So that's one thing you can do is a little low chignon, or if you can pull it up, just even having it up there, it just gives you that messy bun look and you can fake it until you make it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you notice you just had a thinning and not so much something happening at the crown, this guy's called a hair halo. And I had ombre hair when I wore this. So it goes lighter on the ends. And this was available right on Amazon. It didn't even cost that much. I think it was like $30. So you pull your hair half up and you secure it with a ponytail. And then it has these little clips that just clip in. And then your real hair goes right down over the top and you don't see it. And then you can have all this long Lady Godiva hair again. It doesn't match now. And, I haven't even bothered to wear that for a while now. But when I did wear it, it really gave me some confidence because when it first started falling out, my hair was as long as that. And I just had a thinning. It wasn't all the stuff going on up here yet. So if you have so much that you're considering a wig, that's okay. Lots of people wear wigs during this part of their journey and it just makes them more confident. And wigs have come so far. You can get them with human Remy hair now. You can curl them, you can cut them, you can color them. You can do anything that you can do because they're human hair. So a lot of people will wear a hair topper. And so this looks like a little cap and it has the same type of hair teeth that they kind of just secure in, and these aren't going anywhere when you put them on. I never did end up wearing this. I ended up being satisfied with my hair shaker thing, so I didn't actually wear this, but I was close. When it was at its worst, this was close, and this wasn't a good one because it didn't have a lace front. Again, wigs have changed so much. Even from when I was in school, I didn't even know to look for lace front wigs, and lace front wigs are going to give you that natural hairline look. So as you can see, this one is very thick at the hairline and it doesn't look natural. I'll just kind of stick it on so you can see what I mean. But the toppers are more comfortable because you still have a lot of your own hair underneath and they're more breathable. But if you don't get a lace front one, like there is no way I could put this even right at my hairline that you wouldn't know that I've got a wig on. Like to me, this just kind of screams wig. And you know what? If it screams it and that's what you have, use it. Who cares? It's what other people think of us is so insignificant. If this makes you feel more comfortable, even knowing, I'm staticky now, even if other people can tell it's not real, that's okay. And because we've normalized wearing wigs and hair pieces and hair extensions and everything now, like it's kind of not as faux pas as it used to be. So if that makes you feel more comfortable, you go for it. And what I ended up doing is I do know that when hair gets thin and scraggly, the best thing to do is cut it. I know some people are so scared to do that, but it was really freeing for me. And it was right at the same time on my journey that I started the Couch to 5K program and I started running a lot and I was swimming a lot. And it was just a new me and I was ready for that change. And hopefully you will be too. And so by cutting it shorter, it made it more blunt. Short hair pushes up long. And it gave me like a really cute bob. I got some highlights in the front and did some money pieces and different things. So being lighter where I was thinner really helped diffuse the scalp through it. And it actually, when we do lighten our hair, we're stripping some of the hair color out and that can kind of thicken the hair a little bit. Sometimes really long, silky, healthy hair doesn't have volume. And so colored hair definitely has more texture. So it made my hair look thicker. It made it look fuller. It disguised my roots. And I had the blob and I rocked kind of like a blondish ombre bob for probably 6 months. And then as the new growth came in, I had so much of it that I didn't want to damage it with more blonde. So I ended up going back brown and I've stayed brown since. So that's what I did on my journey. You have lots of options. You definitely, hair growth happens on the inside and that happens through good protein, a good diet, and vitamins. These are things we know vitamins are for life. Whether you've had weight loss surgery or not, most people benefit from taking vitamins. So yes, topical things do work. Rogaine does work. And if you need to hide it in the meantime, I really recommend using these fibers. And hopefully you've enjoyed this. This is something that causes a lot of grief and trauma and stress and anxiety for people. And it can actually rob them of their joy of how far they've come on their weight loss journey this far. And just know it's not your fault. It's not going to last forever. And if anything, you can end up with thicker, nicer hair when you're metabolically more healthy later from losing the weight. So just embrace it. Just know it is going to happen for a lot of people. And if it's happening to you, it won't last forever. And fake it till you make it. That's my best advice here. And keep your nutrition good and sound, and it won't last forever. And even when you come back in 6 months, you're going to have a whole different head of hair. So be encouraged and just stay the course. And congratulations on being a healthier you.